Have you ever wondered what real courage looks like? It is not always on a big stage or in front of flashing cameras. Sometimes it is quiet, personal, and the kind that shapes the lives of everyone around you. This is the story of George Clooney and his sister, Ada, a story of love, bravery, and choices that show the meaning of true heroism. George Clooney is known around the world for movies, awards, and fame. But behind the spotlight, there was someone even closer to him who showed a different kind of greatness. Ada, his sister, faced challenges that most people never knew about. She battled illness with a strength and humor that left a mark on everyone she met. Ada passed away at St. Elizabeth Healthcare in Edgewood, Kentucky, surrounded by people who loved her. She was not chasing celebrity or attention. She was a teacher, a guide, a mentor, someone who spent decades helping children discover art and imagination. She lived a life full of meaning, far from Hollywood lights, yet George has called her his hero. And when you hear her story, you will understand why. Growing up in Augusta, Kentucky, George and Ada were just a year apart. Their childhood was filled with ordinary mischief, marshmallow fights, laughter, and playful chaos. Their bond formed in those early years stayed strong even when their lives went in very different directions. George went on to become one of the world's most famous actors. Ada chose a life that brought joy and impact in quieter ways. She became an elementary school art teacher, worked in bookkeeping, and built a community around her. But Ada was not afraid to dream. She once considered acting, even though she knew she did not want the pressures that came with fame. That choice reveals something remarkable. She understood herself and made decisions to protect her happiness and peace. She did not need the spotlight to feel important. She made a conscious decision to live authentically, to be present for the people who mattered most. Ada's care extended even to her famous brother. She protected George's privacy in small but meaningful ways. She did not save his phone number because she feared losing it. Instead, she stayed in touch through email, ensuring their connection stayed steady while shielding him from the constant pull of fame. She was a guardian of their bond, a quiet protector in a world full of distractions and expectations. Her personal life was full of love, loss, and resilience. Ada married Norman Zidler, a retired Army captain, in 1987. Their wedding was a community celebration, with George reading scripture and their famous aunt, Rosemary Clooney, performing a song. The town came together, showing the kind of life Ada valued, one built on real connections rather than glamour. Tragically, Norman passed away in 2004, leaving Ada to raise their 2 children on her own. Yet, she continued teaching, participating in art guilds, and staying active in her community. Her strength was not loud, but it was constant. As a teacher, Ada shaped generations. She was not just showing kids how to paint or draw. She was teaching them to see beauty, to express themselves, and to create with heart. Imagine the countless students who carry pieces of her guidance with them even today. That is a legacy far greater than awards or fame. It is lasting impact on real lives. George's tribute shows how deeply he admired his sister. Despite having achieved almost everything Hollywood can offer, awards, fame, and success, he called Ada his hero. That tells you what matters to him: courage, love, and the way someone lives with heart. Ada faced her illness with bravery and humor, showing grace even in the hardest moments. She did not just survive, she lived fully, giving those around her comfort and strength. Even though she lived far from Hollywood, Ada joined her brother's life in meaningful ways. She attended George and Amal's wedding in Venice, Italy, celebrated alongside family and friends, and fit in perfectly not because of her brother's fame, but because of the genuine warmth she carried. Her story reminds us that being close to fame does not mean a better life. Ada could have used George's fame for personal gain, but she chose a different path. She chose to be a mother, a teacher, a community member, and a person who valued real relationships. Her life proves that true achievement is not measured by awards, attention, or wealth. It is measured by how much you care, create, and give to others. Ada's approach to her illness teaches a lesson about courage. She combined strength with humor, showing that bravery is not just about fighting, it is about living fully even in the hardest times. Courage alone can feel heavy, and humor alone can feel empty. Together, they create a force that can face anything. That is what Ada gave to her family, friends, and students. Behind every famous person is a network of ordinary people living extraordinary lives quietly. While tabloids followed George through airports and premieres, Ada was teaching third graders how to paint, helping them discover themselves, and shaping the world in her own way. Her achievements may not have made headlines, but they made real, lasting change. Ada's life also reminds us that heroism is often found in simple, consistent actions. Leading the Christmas parade, mentoring students, caring for her children, supporting her community, these are the acts that matter. George saw that and recognized it, showing that fame does not blind you to what is truly important. She left behind a family who loved her deeply, her parents, her children, and her brother. Her passing leaves a hole, but also a legacy of love, dedication, and courage. Ada's life proves that real heroes are not always in movies. They are people who live fully, care deeply, and face life struggles with heart and determination. George Clooney's admiration for his sister teaches us a lesson. The people who deserve recognition most are often the ones living quietly, making a difference every day. Ada Zidler did not chase fame. She built a meaningful life, faced hardships bravely, and left a lasting impact. That is why she is a hero, and why her story is unforgettable.